Vandeyam Shri Guru Shiyata Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sya Shirupam Sagrajatam Sagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shirana Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shivishikam Vitam Sya Om Jnana Timaranda Shagyana Jana Shalakya Chakshuram Milidam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Gurva Bhistam Supurakam Guraganara Sisha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nibbanam Shri Rupa Bhattanugam Govindam Vidam Ujjalam Bharatanum Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Bande Vishwa Gurun Shah Divyat Bhagavat Premnoi Bija Pradam Devam Divyatanum Suchandabaranam Balarka Chelan Shitam Sandrananda Puram Sadeka Varanam Vairagya Vidyam Buddhim Sri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Baram Banditam Shubharam Madeka Sharanam Nyasheshwara Sridharam Vanchakopatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahaprabhu Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratavishe Namah. So we're hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, translation and commentary by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. This is Antya-lila chapter 7, Lord Chaitanya meets Vallabha Bhatta. Now, yesterday we heard where Vallabha Bhatta came to Jagannath Puri to have the association of Mahaprabhu, and he's glorifying Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, saying, unless one is empowered by the Lord, no one can do what you have done. No one can spread the Sankirtan movement, and and glorifies Mahaprabhu as Bhagavan, everything like this. And then he quotes some verses from the scriptures, talking about how in this association of a personality like Mahaprabhu, even one born in a family of dog eaters can become a great devotee. So then Mahaprabhu is very much appreciative of the verses that Vallabha Bhatta has quoted, but then Mahaprabhu begins glorifying his own devotees, and he glorifies Advaita Charya, he glorifies Nityananda Prabhu, he glorifies Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he glorifies Ramananda Roy, he's glorifying his devotees. So now he's named many of his most prominent devotees. So now, and says how Ramananda Roy taught him about Rag Marg and so many things like this. So now we're at the text number 38, about the glorification of Damodar Swarup Damodar. Damodar Swarup Prema Rasa Murtiman Jara Sange Hoila Braja Madhura Rasa Gyan. The transcendental mellows of ecstatic love are personified by Swarup Damodar. By his association, I have understood Vrindavan's transcendental mellow and conjugal love. So he says, the Swarup Damodar is the personification of Prema Ras. Prema, love of Godhead, and the Ras, one meaning of the word Ras is taste, but here it's used in the sense of, Prabhupada uses it in the sense of mellows, he says. And mellows means the relationship we have with the Lord of Dasya Ras, Sakya Ras, Vatsalya Ras, or Madhura Ras. Each person has, when their devotion develops to that point, they will feel a natural inclination to one of these relationships or rasas with the Lord. So Mahaprabhu says Swarup Damodar is the personification of Prema Ras, of a relationship and love of Godhead with the Lord. And he also says, by his association, I have understood Madhura Ras of Vrindavan. I have Madhura Ras, conjugal love, the love of the gopis, that relationship. The transcendental mellows of ecstatic love are personified by Swarup Damodar. By his association, I have understood Vrindavan's transcendental mellow of conjugal love. Shuddha Prema Braja Devir Kamagandhahin Krishna Sukha Tatparya Etarachina. The unalloyed love of the gopis and Srimati Radharani is without any trace of material lust. The criterion of such transcendental love is that its only purpose is to satisfy Krishna. Jate sujata charanam buruham staneshu bita shanai priya dadimahi karkaseshu tenata vimatasi tadvyatatena kim sweet kurpadibir brahmati dir bhavad ayushamna. O dearly beloved, your lotus feet are so soft that we place them gently on our breast, fearing that your feet will be hurt. Our lives rest only in you. Our minds, therefore, are filled with anxiety that your tender feet might be wounded by pebbles as you roam about on the forest path. Now, this is the intense feeling of the gopis. Such a feeling could not be expressed nor understood in modern society. They would not understand this at all. But this is a genuine expression of deep love for Krishna. They can't stand the idea of Krishna's feet being pierced or hurt by pebbles on the forest path. So, O dearly beloved, your lotus feet are so soft that we place them gently on our breast, fearing that your feet will be hurt. Our lives rest only in you. Our minds, therefore, are filled with anxiety that your tender feet might be wounded by pebbles as you roam about on the forest path. Gopi Gana Shuddha Prema Aishvarya Gyanhin Primiti Bhartsana Kori Dharachina. Obsessed with pure love without knowledge of opulences, the gopis sometimes chastise Krishna. This is a symptom of pure ecstatic love. Pati Sutan Vaya Bratri Bandhavan Ati Vilangya Te Tenti Achutagata Gati Vidas Tavod Gita Mohita Kitava Yoshita Kastyajanishi. O dear Krishna, we gopis have neglected the order of our husbands, sons, family, brothers, and friends, and have left their company to come to you. You know everything about our desires. We have come only because we are attracted by the supreme music of your flute. But you're a great cheater, for who else would give up the company of young girls like us in the dead of night? Sarvotama bhajane sarva bhakti jini ateva krishna kohe ami tomararini. The conjugal love of the gopis is the most exalted devotional service, surpassing all other methods of bhakti. Therefore, Lord Krishna is obliged to say, my dear gopis, I cannot repay you. Indeed, I am always indebted to you. Naparayeham niravadya samyujam svasarukrityam vibhurayushapiva yamabhajan durjaya geha shringala samvrishya tadva pratiyatu saruna. O gopis, I am not able to repay my debt for your spotless service, even within a lifetime of Brahma. Your connection with me is beyond reproach. You have worshipped me, cutting off all domestic ties which are difficult to break. Therefore, please let your own glorious deeds be your compensation. O gopis, I am not able to repay my debt for your spotless service, even within a lifetime of Brahma. Your connection with me is beyond reproach. You have worshipped me, cutting off all domestic ties which are difficult to break. Therefore, please let your own glorious deeds be your compensation. Aishvarya Gyan Hoite Kevala Bhava Pradhan Prativite Bhakta Nahi Udava Saman. Completely distinct from love of Krishna in opulence, pure love of Krishna is on the highest level. On the surface of the world, there is no devotee greater than Uddhava. Teho jara paraduli korana pratan swarupera sange pailun e sabashikan. O Uddhava, Uddhava desires to take on his head the dust of the gopis' lotus feet. I've learned about all these transcendental loving affairs of Lord Krishna from Swarup Damodar. Asamaho chanararenu jushamaham sham vrindavane kim api guma lato shadinam yadustyajam swajanam aryapatam shahitva bejur makunda paravim shutibir vimigryam. The gopis of Vrindavan have given up the association of their husbands, sons, and other family members who are very difficult to give up, and they have forsaken the path of chastity to take shelter of the lotus feet of Mukunda. The gopis of Vrindavan have given up the association of their husbands, sons, and other family members who are very difficult to give up, and they have forsaken the path of chastity to take shelter of the lotus feet of Mukunda, Krishna, which one should search for by Vedic knowledge. Oh, let me be fortunate enough to become one of the bushes, creepers, or herbs in Vrindavan, for the gopis trample them and bless them with the dust of their lotus feet. So, of the gopis, it says here, svajanam, family members giving up. The reason I'm looking here, because I've heard some comments that the gopis who were dancing with Krishna and everything, they didn't have any children. So anyway, I heard that comment once made. Those particular gopis, anyway, it's not an important point. But Haridas, so the gopis of Vrindavan have given up the association of their husbands and family members who are very difficult to give up, and they have forsaken the path of chastity to take shelter of the lotus feet of Mukunda, Krishna, which one should search for by Vedic knowledge. Well, let me be fortunate enough to become one of the bushes, creepers, or herbs in Vrindavan, for the gopis trampled them and blessed them with the dust of their lotus feet. Haridas Thakur Maha Bhagavata Pradhan Pratidin Loyate Hotin Lakshanam. Haridas Thakur, the teacher of the holy name, is the most exalted of all pure devotees. Every day he chants 300,000 holy names of the Lord. So Mahaprabhu in front of Vallabha Bhatta is going on with the glorification of his various devotees. Namer Mahimami Taran Tai Chikilun Taraprasade Namer Mahima Janilun. I've learned about the glories of the Lord's holy name from Haridas Thakur, and by his mercy I have understood these glories. Acharya Ratna, Acharya Nidhi, Pandita Garadhar, Jagadananda, Damodar, Shankar, Bakreshwar, Kashishwara, Mukunda, Vasudeva, Murari, Aryajat, Bhaktagan, Gaudiya Bhattari, Krishnanam, Prema Koila, Jagate Prachar, Iho Sabar, Sange Krishna, Bhakti Jay Amar, Acharya Ratna, Acharya Nidhi, Gadadhar Pandit, Jagadananda, Damodar. Damodar means Damodar Pandit, Shankar Pandit, the brother of Damodar Pandit. So Acharya Ratna, Acharya Nidhi, Gadadhar Pandit, Jagannananda, Damodar, Shankar, Prakeshwar, Kashishwar, Mukunda, Vasudeva, Murari. Many other devotees have descended in Bengal to preach to everyone the glories of the holy name of Krishna and the value of love for him. I have learned from them the meaning of devotional service to Krishna. Bhatera Ridoye Drida Abhimanjani Bangi Kore Mahaprabhu Kohi Etabani. Knowing that Vallabha Bhatta's heart was full of pride, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke these words, hinting at how one can learn about devotional service. Ami se Vaishnava Bhakti Siddhanta Sabjani, Ami se Bhagavat Arta Uttama Makani. Vallabha Bhatta was thinking, I am a great Vaishnava. Having learned all the conclusions of Vaishnava philosophy, I can understand the meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam and explain it very well. Vataramanate Echila Dirgagarva Prabhur Bachna Shuni Sehoila Karba. Such pride had existed for a long time within the mind of Vallabha Bhatta, but as he heard the preaching of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his pride was cut down. And it's a very nice chapter we're reading. The Lord Chaitanya meets Vallabha Bhatta. And then when she said, then I'm going to ask you about one verse that we read and ask your comment. But first, just a short resume of what's happening. Vallabha Bhatta had met Mahaprabhu in Prayag. Now he's come to Jagannath Puri. When he comes to Jagannath Puri, he sincerely glorifies Mahaprabhu, says prayers glorifying him, calls Mahaprabhu Bhagavan and worships him, and then he quotes some verses from Bhagavatam, how, by the mercy of the Lord and his devotees, even one born in family of dog eaters, etc., can rise to a position greater than Brahman, and goes on glorifying Mahaprabhu. Then Mahaprabhu begins glorifying all of his devotees. Mahaprabhu first, he glorifies, of course, Advaita Acharya, Nityananda Prabhu, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, goes on, glorifies others, and then Ramananda Roy, Swarup Damodar, Haridas Thakur, it just goes on. Then names practically all his devotees in his association. Says, by them I have learned devotional service. Then it says, then there is a commentary. Knowing that Vallabha Bhatta's heart was full of pride, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke these words, hinting at how one can learn about devotional service. Ami se Vaishnava Bhakti Siddhanta Sabjani Ami se Bhagavat Arta Uttama Bhakani. Vallabha Bhatta was thinking, I am a great Vaishnava. Having learned all the conclusions of Vaishnava philosophy, I can understand the meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam and explain it very well. Bhatera manete echila dirga garva prabhura bachana shuni se hoila garva. Se hoila karva. Bhatera manete echila dirga garva prabhura bachana shuni se hoila karva. Such pride had existed for a long time within the mind of Vallabha Bhatta, but as he heard the preaching of Mahaprabhu, his pride was cut down. I think this is, a nice chapter to understand. Prabhura Mukhe Vaishnava Shunya Sabar Bhatera Icha Hoila Tasabare Dikibar. When Vallabha Bhatta heard from the mouth of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about the pure Vaishnavism of all these devotees, he immediately desired to see them. Then he'll hear, they're all here, you can meet them. But, I was talking yesterday as we were reading this chapter. This chapter was published in Back to Godhead when I was in ISKCON, and our devotees from Gujarat, they were really taken aback by that, because they hold Vallabha Bhatta in a special position in their sampradaya. You know, the Nimbarka, as far as I know, the Nimbarka sampradaya. Is that right? Vishnu Swami, okay. Vishnu Swami sampradaya. So anyway, they didn't take so kindly to hearing this, you know, what they consider criticism of Vallabha Bhatta. But it's there in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Maybe could have been more, maybe it didn't have to be published, you know, but was a reference anyway. Now the verse I was going to ask you about, and I could be wrong on this, I'll just tell you, text 47, and you don't have to read, you can I'm more interested in what the Bengali says afterwards. But here's the reason I'm saying it. It's a famous verse. Asam aho chanana renu jusham aham sham, you know, verse of Uddhava. Yep. Okay? Then in the chapter here, the gopis of Vrindavan have given up the association of their husbands, sons, and other family members who are difficult to give up. Now, I don't know if what I heard was correct, but I once heard that the gopis who were, you know, engaged with Krishna and the Rasa-lila and everything like that, they didn't have any children. And in this verse, I don't see, in the Sanskrit, I don't see anything reference to sons. But it may be there in the Bengali. It may mention something about sons. So, because I'm not sure of my conclusion, that's why I wanted to ask for some clarification by what it says in the Bengali explanation of the verse.
It's a Swajana, which means their family member, their original birth, their parents.
Where is?
In the glossary in the Anubhashya, it says Pati Pitadin.
Okay.
Pati Putradin. And in the Bangla it says Pati Putradi. So husband, sons, and so on.
Okay, so then it's correct. Now, do you know anything about I could be completely wrong, but do you know anything about the reference I had heard? I don't know if it's from Vishwanath Chakravarti or what, about the gopis who were meeting with Krishna, didn't have any children. Do you know any reference about that?
It could be taken that this statement is referring to the gopis as a whole, not necessarily exclusively the gopis of Madhura Rasa.
Okay. All right. Anyway, it's not I don't consider this a major point. I just wanted to know, because I didn't have, but in the Bengali it does mention sons. So, Ami se Vaishnava, okay, we read this. Vallabha Bhatta's pride was cut down. Prabhur Mukhe Vaishnavata Shunya Sabar Bhattera Ijahoila Tas Sabara Dekibar. When Vallabha Bhatta heard from the mouth of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about the pure Vaishnavism of all these devotees, he immediately desired to see them. So this is my understanding, you know, what Mahaprabhu was saying to Vallabha Bhatta. One cannot maintain a position of, you know, while not honoring Vaishnavas around him. That is, you know, for instance, we came to the lotus feet of Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj and Srila Govinda Maharaj. When many of us came to that, those who we knew before from former association, they gave honor to Srila Sridhar Maharaj, but they didn't necessarily give honor to anyone else. Certainly not those who were aspiring disciples of Srila Sridhar Maharaj or Govinda Maharaj. They gave honor to Srila Sridhar Maharaj as a great Vaishnava, but they wouldn't give any honor to anyone else. They didn't necessarily honor, you know, Guru Maharaj's successor, nor those who had taken sannyas or taken initiation from Srila Sridhar Maharaj. I'm not trying to criticize anyone. I'm just saying that the point here that I understand, you cannot glorify your Vaishnava without glorifying his associates. Is that true? That would seem to me to be a point being raised here that Mahaprabhu is giving. Because, Vallabha Bhatta has respect for Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu even says he's at some point that he's a Mahabhagavata. But that is in quotes, in the sense that, Mahaprabhu wants to make him a Mahabhagavata. He is a Mahabhagavata in many ways, but Mahaprabhu also wishes to correct the false pride that's existing within his heart. Bhatta kohe e sab Vaishnava rahi konstane kondrakare bhaimu iha sabara darshane. Vallabha Bhatta said, where do all these Vaishnavas live and how can I see them? Prabhu kohe keho gode keho deshantare sab asi jache rata jatra dekivare. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, although some of them live in Bengal and some in several states, they have all come here to see the Ratha Yatra festival. Now there's another point, it's a side thing, a side remark. But one of the points later raised by Vallabha Bhatta, he says that a woman does not say the name of her husband. She says Pati or like this, but she doesn't call her husband by his name. And it is true that when we're singing kirtan, we don't sing Jaya Govinda Maharaj, Jaya Srila Sridhar Maharaj. We don't say their name. We say Jai Gurudev or Jai Guru Maharaj. We don't say them by name. But then Vallabha Bhatta says, so, how can we chant the Hare Krishna mantra out loud because it's the name of Krishna? And how can the wife, how can she say the name of her husband out loud? And then Mahaprabhu corrects him and he says, he raises this maybe to Advaitacharya, I don't remember to which Vaishnava, but then he says, well, why don't you ask Mahaprabhu? He's present before you. And then Mahaprabhu says, this is a very foolish remark because a wife, first of all, must follow the order of her husband. And Krishna has given the order to chant, the Maha Mantra, to chant the holy names. So, then he corrects this wrong conclusion of Vallabha Bhatta. But I've also been in, I was visiting to collect some books once. For that reason, I went there to the Gaudiya, Bagh Bazar Gaudiya Mat. And in that Mat, they didn't chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra out loud. I don't know why, but they just they wouldn't chant the Maha Mantra. When they're doing kirtan, they would chant everything, but they would not chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. It was the policy of their mat, which seems to almost be akin to what Vallabha Bhatta said to Mahaprabhu, Then I mentioned that to Govinda Maharaj. Not exactly in that context. We were talking about some other context. Govinda Maharaj said, we won't even offer incense to them, to that particular mat. So that was his remark. But I'm just saying that, you can come to a lot of wrong conclusions, as Vallabha Bhatta came to wrong conclusions, and Mahaprabhu had to correct him. So sometimes wrong conclusions cannot be corrected. Sometimes we just may say something out of ignorance or wrong. I may say a wrong name or just like in the wrong, something wrong, but it's not necessarily a major point. It's only, but there is some points of absolute siddhanta which are major. The siddhanta has to be followed. Mahaprabhu did not like rasabas, and he didn't like siddhanta, What's the Siddhanta? Virod. What is it? Virod? Is that the word? Virod. Virod. Siddhanta Virod, right? Something that's against the conclusions of Siddhanta and that which is causing rasabhas. You know. So, that, but I think a major point being here is, which in the course of this chapter, Vallabha Bhatta is corrected by Mahaprabhu that his pride is cut down, and it says that just as Indra's pride had to be cut down, Vallabha Bhatta's pride is cut down, and he makes a number of wrong statements, which will be explored late as we continue. Well, he comments, I've written a commentary of the Srimad Bhagavatam that is better than Sridhar Swami, the ancient commentator on the Srimad Bhagavatam. Mahaprabhu says, a woman who's not chaste to her Swami is no better than a prostitute. In Bengal, Swami, the word Swami means husband. A woman who's not chaste to her Swami. It's a reference, play on words, reference to the name Sridhar Swami. But the statement Mahaprabhu, he uses Swami in the sense of husband. And he says a woman who's not chaste to her husband is no better than a prostitute. That's what he comments. So he corrects Vallabha Bhatta about minimizing the importance of the commentator, Sridhar Swami, the first commentator on Srimad Bhagavatam. That's one thing. Then Vallabha Bhatta also says that, please hear my explanation of the holy names, which is okay, valid thing, but Mahaprabhu says, I only know two names of Krishna. Yashodanandana and Shyamsundar. I don't know any other names of Krishna. So he didn't want to hear his commentary. Although Mahaprabhu says, Nam nama kari bahuda nija sarvar shaktis tatrarpita imanta smarane nakala. Mahaprabhu has said the Lord has unlimited names. But he says, I only know two names of Krishna, of the Lord. Yashodanandana and Shyamsundar. So, there's a correction going on of Vallabha Bhatta. What is the point of the correction of Vallabha Bhatta? And I'll continue with this chapter, but, the point of it all is Vallabha Bhatta, he has to come, what is the word? He has to come back down to actually understanding what one's relationship is with exalted Vaishnavas. And, one has to be very careful about dealing with other Vaishnavas. I'm sure that in the course of time we all maybe commit some offenses to Vaishnavas, but because it's not done intentionally, or it's not done with malice, it is not necessarily, we can correct ourselves. And Vallabha Bhatta does become corrected in the course of this chapter. He doesn't just adamantly state, holding on to a wrong viewpoint. He actually becomes corrected by the end of this chapter. But this is an important lesson for Vaishnavas. Dhanyavad, Prabhu. Okay. So Mahaprabhu says, although some of them live in Bengal and some in other states, they have all come here to see the Rath Yatra festival. Here it says, Desha Antare, in other states. Sometimes they'll say Desha Antare and they'll say in other countries. It depends on the translation into English. But sometimes here, and in one sense we'll say India consists of many, many deshas. And these desh, the desh, like Bengal, Gujarat, Rajasthan, so many states, and many of them, they all have their own languages. It's not united by a common language. India is not united by a common language. But sometimes desh can be, Anyway, Mahaprabhu's, although some of them live in Bengal and some in other states, they have all come here to see the Rath Yatra festival. Ihane rohen sabe basa nanastane ihai paiba tumi sabara darshane. At present, they are all living here. Their residences are in various quarters. Here you will get darshan of all of them. Tabe bhatta kohe bahu binoy bachan bahu doinya kori prabhure koila nimantran. Thereafter, with great submission and humility, Vallabha invited Mahaprabhu to dine in his home. Aradin sab Vaishnava Prabhu Stani Sabsani Mahaprabhu Bhate Milaila. The next day, when all the Vaishnavas came to the abode of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord introduced Vallabha to them all. Vaishnavera Teja Deki Bhatera Chamatkar Tasabar Age Bhatta Kajota Akar. He was surprised to see the brilliance of their faces. Indeed, among them, Vallabha seemed just like a glowworm. You know, a glowworm here. Let's see. Kajota Akar, translated as a glowworm. Now, I've seen in many places. I've seen insects that you can see at night. They produce some light, and you can see them at night. And they look as very startling. You can see these insects flying or walking on the ground, and they're emitting some light, sometimes green light or other colors. But during the daytime, during the sunlight of daytime, they just look like bugs. They don't look like light or anything. They just look like bugs. So, Vallabha was surprised to see the brilliance of their faces. Indeed, among them, Vallabha seemed just like a glowworm. So that's in a reference to that. These persons are like, they're very bright and luminous. So, Tabe Bhatta Bahu Mahaprasada Anaila Ganasaha Mahaprabhu Re Bojana Koraila. Then Vallabha brought in a great quantity of Lord Jagannath's Mahaprasadam and sumptuously fed Mahaprabhu and his associates. Paramananda Puri Sange Sanyasiragan Ekdike Baishe Sab Korite Bojan. All the sannyasi associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, headed by Paramananda Puri, sat on one side and thus partook of the prasadam. Advaita Nityananda Rai, Parshve Duijan, Madhya Mahaprabhu Basila Age Pache Bhaktagan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sat in the midst of the devotees. Advaitacharya and Lord Nityananda each sat on one side of the Lord. The other devotees sat in front of the Lord and behind him. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sat in the midst of the devotees. Advaitacharya and Lord Nityananda each sat on one side of the Lord. The other devotees sat in front of the Lord and behind him. Godera Bhakta Jata Kohitena Pari Angane Basila Sab Hanya Sari. The devotees from Bengal, who I'm unable to count, all sat down in lines in the courtyard. Prabhura Bhakta Gandaki Bhattera Chamatkar Pratyeke Sabar Pade Koilan Namaskar. When Vallabha saw the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was greatly surprised, and in devotion he offered his obeisances at the lotus feet of each and every one of them. Swarup Jagannananda Kashishwar Shankar Pariveshan Kori Ar Raghava Damodar. Swarup Damodar, Jagannananda, Kashishwar, and Shankar, along with Raghava and Damodar Pandit, took charge of distributing the prasadam. Mahaprasad Vallabha Bahu Anaila Prabhu Saha Sanyasigan Bojane Basila. Vallabha had brought a large quantity of Mahaprasadam offered to Lord Jagannath. Thus all the sannyasis sat down to eat with Mahaprabhu. Prasadapai Vaishnavagane Bole Hari 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 Dvani Sa Ute Sabramanda body. Accepting prasadam, all the Vaishnavas chanted the holy names, Hari Hari. The rising vibration of the holy name of Hari filled the entire universe. Malachandan, Gubaka, Pana, Aneka, Anila, Sab, Puja, Kori, Bhatta, Nandite, Anandita, Hoila. When all the Vaishnavas had finished eating, Vallabha Bhatta brought a large quantity of garlands, sandalwood pulp, spices, and betel. He worshipped the Vaishnavas very respectfully and became extremely happy. Now today is the disappearance day of Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, and also Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Is that correct? So, yeah. So, Raghunath Das Goswami, we just finished reading chapter about Raghunath Das taking shelter of Mahaprabhu. Raghunath Das came from a very wealthy family of, his father is Govardhan Majumdar and his uncle is Hiranya Majumdar. And they're very rich. And they are actually patrons of the Vaishnavas. They're providing some help to Haridas Thakur and other Vaishnavas. Giving them, when they visit, a place to stay and holding some programs, etc. So they have some relationship with the Vaishnavas, but the family of Raghunath Das Goswami, although they're worshipping the Vaishnavas, they didn't want Raghunath Das to leave his grihastha position and go with Mahaprabhu. And they were very disturbed. They wanted him to become like them, successful in business and happy with his wife and wealth and everything like that. Because they are engaged in Maya Sukaya. Their business is that they're enjoying this mundane world. But Raghunath Das didn't have any taste for that. So he repeatedly tried to run away. But parents were so frustrated that Raghunath's mother said, well, why don't you chain him up? And then his father said, he should already be chained. He has a wife that's as beautiful as an upstar and all the wealth that anybody could ever want. These would be chains for a normal person, but they are not chains for a madman of Mahaprabhu. So who can stop a madman of Mahaprabhu? His father recognized that fact, but still he had 11 people guarding over him. But then Raghunath, we heard, got the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, the festival of Panihati, of distributing cheer dahi and like that to everyone, to the Vaishnavas and to the town and everyone. And he got glorification of Nityananda Prabhu, Nityananda Prabhu and Raghava Pandit. They gave Raghunath Das blessings, and Nityananda even foretold, you will go to Puri and you will get the shelter of Swarup Damodar and everything. And then eventually that happened, and then from that time on, Raghunath Das was, with Mahaprabhu, and although he had been from a rich family, Raghunath Das's nature there in Puri was that of great tapasya, great austerities. His renunciation is said as like lines in a stone. What does that refer to, lines in a stone?
Like something engraved, in other words, you can't wash it out.
You can't wash it out, no. All right, so that's what it's called, lines in a stone. Like, we'd also think of something worn into a stone, maybe by, lines in a stone. They can't wash them away.
When you're writing on a palm leaf, you get water on it, can get washed away.
Yeah, but when it's carved into a stone. So anyway, then that's Raghunath Das Goswami, and in each chapter, Krishnadas Kaviraj is offering worship to Sri Rupa Raghunath Bhatta. So, anyway, that's Raghunath Das Goswami. We just heard of his glories just a few days ago. Then, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, when Mahaprabhu met Tapan Mishra. He met Tapan Mishra in East Bengal. Mahaprabhu at that time was a grihasta, living in Navadip. But he very curiously told Tapan Mishra, you go to Varanasi and live there, which was an unusual request, right? Then Tapan Mishra is in Varanasi's association with Chandrasekhar. And they're about one of the few Vaishnavas living in Varanasi, which is kind of a Mayavad stronghold, many Mayavadis there. But then Mahaprabhu went there, and when Mahaprabhu came to Varanasi, Tapan Mishra, perhaps without any, whether he had prior knowledge or prior information of Mahaprabhu coming there or not, but he's bathing in the Ganga and he sees Mahaprabhu come there. So then Tapan Mishra, he and Chandrasekhar, they're the associate, and others, they're there for Mahaprabhu in Varanasi, and eventually Mahaprabhu converts all of Varanasi into becoming Vaishnavas at that time. And Tapan Mishra's son is Raghunath, who became Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. It's Raghunath Das Goswami and Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. And Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, he went to see, he's referred to at that time as a boy. He's a boy, and Mahaprabhu is there. And Raghunath Bhatta Goswami is he's a boy at the time, and then as he becomes older, he goes to Puri to visit Mahaprabhu, and then Mahaprabhu tells him, you don't marry, you stay in Varanasi, you take care of your aged parents, and later you come to me. And when his parents pass away, then he goes to Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu instructs him and has much love for Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, and Raghunath Bhatta Goswami has said he's singing the Srimad Bhagavatam very beautifully, like 3 different tones or something like that, and it's a great soul. And he's sent to Vrindavan, and he joins with with the Goswamis there. So that's Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. And Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is, of course, the author of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, which we consider the supreme Gaudiya Vaishnava literature that we're hearing. And Krishnadas Kaviraj, his poetry and his Sanskrit, his compositions are extremely beautiful. They're extremely beautiful, and his understanding is very, very deep. Like he expresses, things that he expresses, he says, like, only this is known by the meaning of the verse of Madhavendra Puri is only known by Mahaprabhu, Srimati Radharani, and Madhavendra Puri, no third person. But he's expressing it. He's expressing it, Krishnadas Kaviraj. And he's like, can express everything. And Govinda Maharaj comment about Krishnadas Kaviraj's Govinda Lilamrita is so beautiful, and so he's a great, the great Vaishnava Shastra Guru Krishnadas Kaviraj, and like he, and sometimes it's said he and Vrindavan Das Thakur, they're the authentic commentators on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela, because in the sense that they're both present during that time. So anyway, today is all their divine disappearance days. And earlier we sang Gianni Lo Prima Donna. But today is the disappearance day of these great souls. So now I'm going to sing Hari Haraya, and we'll finish here. We have our Sunday program beginning at noon, and we have present with us, Bhakti Kamal Tyagi Maharaj. He'll be here today. He's leaving tomorrow for his travels. We also have with us, Sripad Bhakti Chandan Parvat Maharaj, and so today we can hear something from Tyagi Maharaj during the program. I'm also, there'll be a Harinam Sankirtan in downtown Santa Cruz at 4 o'clock on Pacific Avenue, and meeting place will be O'Neill's Surf Shop. Across from the movie theater. Okay, so then we have all our announcements and everything going on. I'll turn it off. And Maharaj is going to Mexico. And then the 24th is Mexico is the anniversary, and Veracruz Temple of the beautiful temple, wonderful deities there, very nice. It's the meeting time. That's the day of meeting for all the devotees of Mexico will be there. So many. They all try to go there. I would go there, but I have an agreement with Hashapriya that I'll stay here during the time when he's absent. He's going to be gone for 6 weeks. So, because I needed at least 2 weeks to visit Mexico, I did so, and just came back a couple days ago. So. But I still have some desire to go to that festival. So maybe I could go for just a day or two and not go for 2 weeks. No, a day or two means 2 to 4 days, that's all. Well, there's a flight that goes directly to Veracruz that leaves on Monday and it comes back on Friday, I think. Yeah, from Tijuana. I just happened to hear about it. But Monday, when is the 24th? What's today's date?
24th is Wednesday.
Well, it may not happen. One has to honor the local calendar also. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama Jaravaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan
Chaitanya Charitamrita
Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Gosai Maharaj ki Jai, Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravrajaka Ashtadhara Sadashri Shrimad Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev Gosai Maharaj ki Jai, Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Sunanda Saraswati Gosai Thakur ki Jai, Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj ki Jai, Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Jai, Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki Jai, Rupanagwa Guru Varga ki Jai, Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai, Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasha Raghunath, Shadguru Swami Prabhu ki Jai, Prabhu Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Shri Gaurabhakta ki Jai, Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat ki Jai, Narottam Srinivas Shamananda Prabhu ki Jai, Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhu ki Jai, Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmala Acharya Maharaj ki Jai, Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Acharya Vrinda ki Jai, Zaparshada Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki Jai, Zaparshada Shri Mahaprabhu ki Jai, Sri Kuladip ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat ki Jai, Soquel Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Seva Ashram Ki Jai,
Jai.
Devi Ki Jai, Tulasi Maharaj Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Shri Vrindavan Ki Jai, Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Govardhan Sham Radha Kunda Kalindi Mumaju Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Hari Nam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Sripad Bhakti Chandan Parvat Maharaj Ki Jai, Bhakti Kamal Tyagi Maharaj Ki Jai, all the assembled devotees Ki Jai, Shri Raghunath Das Goswami, Shri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Shri Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, Tirubal Mahotsav Ki
Jai.
Gaur Premanande.
Shri Bhakti Pavan Janardan Maharaj ki.
Jai.
You know that little,
On top.
this thing,